The sun is shining. Did you guys just get snow? Did you get a lot of rain? We got a little snow, we got a lot of rain. Let's go feed the ducks. Now we'll be able to start working in the garden a little bit more. I have to finish up a little bit more inside of the greenhouse. Stacy really liked her little table that I built. And remember those onions that we planted? That video is right there. They're pretty resilient. They're looking good. They're popping up. So we got our onions in early. There were some people around here that hadn't even put their onions in, and they were surprised that we got them in. So that worked out really good. A couple of you guys left a comment on the last video when I was putting in the cattle panels. They would like me to show you how I'm tying them around the T-post or using them for the trellis, because a lot of people like to use cattle panels for trellises, for peas or beans, blackberries, you know, any kind of vining things. You could use them for loofahs, and just all kind of cucumbers. Now what we're going to do is just take some regular string, and we're going to secure our berries up to our cattle panel. Now I heard something the other day that is quite alarming. I heard that 17 million Americans believe that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. Ha! That is too funny. Someone the other day posted on our Homestead Homie page on Facebook, they posted that someone actually took in some brown eggs and some Easter eggers to give away for, you know, like Salvation Army or something, for people to eat. And they basically rejected the eggs and couldn't believe that she would bring in rotten eggs to give away to feed the homeless. Oh my goodness. This is one of the reasons why we have our YouTube channel, is to help get the word out, on what is proper food and how it can benefit you and your health. So real quick, I'll take a second here to show you guys how we do it. You're going to need some T-posts. I like to use 6-footers because the cattle panels themselves are about 4, and that gives you some space to get into the ground and to secure the panel all the way up and down the panel. And then what we do is just use the wire or any kind of wire that you have, or actually probably when you buy the T-posts, they come with some clips. You can use the clips as well. I basically save the clips in case I need any fence repairs, and then I use my old wire for this because it's better suited for the purpose. So what you're going to do is just figure out where you want your cattle panel. So roughly right about here. And then this is a T-post driver. So if you don't have one of these, there's another way that you can drive in a T-post.
You okay?
Yeah.
That's what happened to me. I banged my
Maybe I need to get that post hole driver sooner than later. Ah, shoot. Wow, I don't know if that is worth not having a post hole driver.
Ow, wow, Justin, that looks like it hurt. So make sure you try to get one of these T-post drivers so you don't smash your fingers up. You can get them in any farm or home store, and I'll try to find them and see if they have them on Amazon. You can get them shipped to your front door, and use our Amazon link that's down in the description box below. So you're just going to drive that down, then you're going to bring your panel over. And then you're going to use your wire to secure the panel. And then you're just going to thread tie it. And then I'll leave these pliers in the link as well. We did a video a while back about how handy these pliers actually are. And they really should be, if you have a homestead, you really should look into getting a pair. And then basically I just twist this around. And then what I do then is I kind of tuck this wire in case anybody's walking by here, they don't get caught on that. So that's a wrap on the blackberries. Got them all secured, ready to go. So the next step, I'll start getting that other table built inside of the greenhouse, and then also going to hang a pole in there so Stacy can have some hanging plants. She's been bugging me about that, so I'll show you guys how I'm going to do that. But before she left last night, we started to make some yogurt cheese.
I'm getting ready to make some yogurt cheese. I have some leftover yogurt that I made from raw milk. We did a video a long time ago. I'll link that above. It's one of our first videos. But I love yogurt, and I eat a lot of it here. Doug and I do. And this is some yogurt that has been sitting for quite a long time, and it has a much stronger flavor. So what I'm going to do is turn this into yogurt cheese and show you guys, even if you buy yogurt, if you get a good grass-fed yogurt from the grocery store, that you can make yogurt cheese. And yogurt cheese is simple and just something a little different that you can add to, you know, what you're eating. So all I need, I have a bowl, and then I have a strainer, and then you can use like a nice cotton cloth so that the whey, which is a liquid, can strain through the yogurt here. And my grandmother used to do this when I was younger, and I used to see these things hanging with a wooden spoon, and she would be making yogurt cheese. Because I use yogurt for lots of things. I use them as marinades on top of different things I eat. If I'm making chili or soups, I use it on top. I'm just going to get some string here and then just tie this through so that I can hang it on my hook. But you guys can rig it up however you got it. So here you go. So then I'm going to let this sit overnight. So it's, you know, probably like 7 o'clock tonight. Tomorrow morning, then we will strain it and we will have yogurt cheese, and then I'll tell you what we can do with it then.
Well, so that's how she made the cheese out of yogurt. So I'll have to take this down now, give it some squeezes, and then wash my hands because apparently it really smells. Okay, we got that all squeezed out. So now what I need to do, she says, is take some of her spice green mix in the bottom of this little tray here that I'm going to put it. I'm going to put some of our unrefined natural salt from Redmond's, which is actually down below in our new really oh, and now I'm going to put some Redmond salt in the bottom too. It's unrefined natural pink salt, and we also have upgraded our Amazon store. So if you guys go down in the description box below the video and click the Amazon link, it's actually going to take you to a page that has like some stuff that we use around the homestead. And if you purchase it, like I said earlier, it doesn't cost you anything extra, but it's stuff that we use here. And if you're interested in doing this kind of stuff and maybe you find those things useful, you can purchase them, help what we're doing here, and then it doesn't cost you a dime and you get it delivered right to your door. Phew. All right, so just a little bit of salt in the bottom of this, you know, just a pinch or two. And then what I'm going to do is untie this cloth that it's in. For a nice little tie job here. There's some more of that string. That's just like some garden string. It's very handy around the homestead. We use it all the time. Multi-purpose. You know, we always talk about that. Having things that are multi-purpose. Okay. Now we're getting down into the nitty-gritty. Crazy how this stuff works, isn't it? I know you guys saw us make that other cheese. I'll link that video right there. We made some Amish recipe cheese. And now we're showing you guys how to make yogurt cheese. So there's the yogurt cheese right there. You can see I'm going to kind of put it in this little tray here. You can leave it in any kind of shape you want. You can make it a square or a ball or whatever. Just like the other video though, you want to make sure that you get as much liquid out of it as possible for the best possible cheese, right? Always get your honeydews done so you don't get in trouble, guys. Now I'm going to take some more of my green seasoning that she said. I'm going to sprinkle that on top. And then I'm going to add some more of the pink salt on top. I'm going to show you guys what that looks like. Ooh, ah. Now I'm going to put the lid on it, and then I'm going to stick it out in the refrigerator. Also, while I'm doing that, I was giving my marching orders. Up here, I have some kombuchas that we made. We make kombuchas ourselves. These are just bottles that we recycle and reuse. And then I need to put those out in our 100-year-old fridge. If you missed our 100-year-old fridge video, it's right there. You might want to check that one out. One more thing as well, before you get out of here, is you guys know we're going to be at the Baker Creek Spring Planting Festival. That's coming up the first Sunday and Monday in May, so be there or be square. It's going to be a great event. I know there's going to be a lot of people there. Julianne from Dirt Patch Heaven's coming. I think John Kohler is going to be there from Growing Your Greens. Also, Derek from Handyman is going to be there. They live off-grid in Arizona. So it's just going to be a really cool place. Lots of people. I've been talking to Jared, who owns the place and who organizes this thing, and they're telling me that this is going to be the biggest one that they've ever had. So I think a lot of people saw our videos last year and saw what a good time it was, and they're interested in coming and checking out. It's the first Sunday and Monday in May in Mansfield, Missouri. So if you guys come down, you can hit the Laura Ingle Wilder's house. It's not too far from there. Pretty neat story there, you know, little house on the prairie. And it's just going to be a good time. You can go to Baker Creek Seed Company on Google and check it out, rareseeds.com, for all the itinerary and whatnot, and we really hope to see you there. We're going to bring some cold frames down there in case you guys want to pick some of those up while you're there. And it's just going to be a hoot. We're speaking both days, so we'll be speaking Sunday and Monday, and we look forward to seeing you guys. We love it when you guys come out to these events and see us eyeball to eyeball and get to hang out with us. I know Living Traditions will be there, Ozark Off-Grid Family. I mean, just on and on. There's going to be a lot of people there, and it's just a fun free-for-all event with banjos and blacksmiths and over 200 gardeners, so it might be something you want to put on your calendar coming up in just a couple weeks. As always, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and we'll see you guys on the next video.
Hey guys, thanks for watching our video. You might want to check out these videos.
And if you want to become a Homestead homie, click the picture of us below.
We will see you tomorrow.